Nation. Back here, we got a live CHGO Bulls postgame coming up for y'all right around the corner. Worst loss of the season? Definitely in the running. Bulls fall to the Hawks 110-94. Turnovers abound. Threes aren't falling. Yuck, yuckity, yuck, yuck, yuck. Let's talk about it. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to CHGO Bulls Postgame. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I am Peck, Bulls _Peck. That's Big Dave. Bam! BAWL Sports. Four-time champ, Uncle Will. Will _Perdue 32. Queen of the controls. The one on the KW. What's up, K&A Bulls?
Well, can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me know. If you can hear Will Perdue, let us know.
I'm going to lose my mind.
Never good. We need to stop with playing down the competition, or should, when this game, this team and organization, effing. It's a tough time there, Anthony. Don't do it. Don't you do it, sir. This ain't no sound. This ain't, there's no sound. She is working on the sound.
Working on it.
Working on the sound. Audio isn't coming through. She's working it out right now.
To that point, though, about we need to stop the whole playing down the competition thing, or the Bulls should win this game. We said in pregame, total trap game. The Bulls are totally capable of losing to anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone.
Yeah.
Lost to a G League player-filled Brooklyn Nets team earlier this year. They put a stat up, like a graphic in the game, about how
I just shut it off.
there was a graphic in the broadcast about how, hey, like here's the good, here's the bad. The Bulls have wins against 5 top teams in the top 5 conference teams in the league this season. They also have 5 L's, and now, well, I guess the Hawks are a bottom 5 team. Yeah. That version of the Hawks might as well count towards that. 5 losses to the bottom 5 teams in the league. This is who they are.
This is who we are.
Look.
This is who we are.
Big Fly.
Go ahead, Will Perdue.
All right, so for those of you that didn't see the pregame show, we started the show by talking about some comments and brought one back, but then extended on it. So, Matt, let's just start this off now that we've got the audio. Hey, Rob, is Peck's audio fixed? Because you just said audio is it's good? Okay. All right. I'm a little slow here. So, Peck, can you please read the whole quote and nothing but the quote? So help me God.
The one that we were talking about in pregame?
Yes.
Billy Donovan from like a few days ago?
That's right. Because I think it's very important that we use that one specific word to start off the quote, but then extend to exactly what we saw tonight.
I know the word you're talking about, and here we go. Billy Donovan, quote, "No one's saying to me, hey, listen, wait a second with this draft pick right now. We need to make sure to tank in parentheses. It's been always the integrity of competition and playing, and I appreciate that." Billy continued, "We don't want to be just stuck in the middle, but I think the building out part that we have to look at is the totality of our team, where you're identifying guys that are going to help us maybe get out of the middle and move forward. And I do think that we have guys on our team that, to me, emulate or model a competitiveness that I like and appreciate. End quote.
Go ahead, Perdue.
So, listen, we've talked about being confused with the message. Okay, because I want to be clear. The one time that Arturas has talked this year, and he's only talked once, right?
Media day.
Right, and he mentioned that we're reshaping. Things have to change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Unacceptable.
He did use that word,
He did.
right? What has happened in the past is unacceptable. By the way, with the loss tonight, it ruined one of my favorite stats.
Which is?
If they would have won tonight, their record at the halfway point would have been the same as last year and the year before.
Which was 19-22.
Yes.
But of course, it's
18-23.
damn it.
They also broke the golden rule. They are 5 games under 500, y'all.
Nothing makes
Woo! Let's go! Anything is possible.
This is the happiest you'll ever see him to be wrong about something.
All right. So, initially when Billy made the comment about integrity, I thought the team responded well.
Sure.
Okay. But didn't last long. Okay. And I think that it's quite ironic, even though that quote is about a week old. Can you read the second part again? Billy continued.
We don't want to be just stuck in the middle. But I think the building out part that we have to look at is the totality of our team, where you're identifying guys that are going to help us maybe get out of the middle and move forward. And I do think we have guys on our team that, to me, emulate or model a competitiveness that I like and appreciate.
So then there needs to be some questions answered to, and this isn't new, direction. Okay, and listen, let me go back for a second.
Okay.
I apologize.
Take your time, Will.
You can occasionally there's just a scheduled loss or just shots aren't falling. I get it. There's 82 games. In 82 games, there's going to be some duds.
Yes, sir.
But I don't care what your freaking goal is going into a season. If it's tanking for a draft pick, whatever it is. Okay, but everything that's been shared with us is that this team is not tanking. The players are not tanking. Okay? So if that's the case, somebody, I know this is a very simple statement here, Mr. Obvious, but this game is unacceptable. I mean, truly, it really is.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, please read me the lineup for the Atlanta Hawks tonight.
Well, are you about to talk down to Mr. Plow, who came off the bench for them?
I don't.
And dropped in. No, but
That's
so
my
the starting
name, it's
lineup
Mr.
was
Plow.
Capella, Dyson Daniels, Creechy, Wallace, and Roddy. Keaton Wallace dropped 27. Plowden, in his NBA debut, had 19 off the bench.
Oh, legend.
I think they called up 2 or 3 G League guys for that game tonight. And
Won.
that was, and then they played better and harder than the Bulls did.
First of all, why did you not come out with your hair on fire when a middle of the road team like you basically just says, you know what? We're going to rest our guys. We won against Phoenix at home. We're going on the road. We're going to rest Trey. We're going to rest Deion. Why does that not just get you to the point where you're just super pissed off?
And
to the point where you come out swinging haymakers, letting these guys know you ain't ready for this.
Especially considering they also, on top of that, had the motivation of they lost the game last night. They probably should have won. Definitely could have won against the Pelicans team with 8 wins.
Pelicans just won tonight also.
Kudos to them.
Shout out to them.
That's 10 now.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, and look, this is where I know that I was grandstanding on last night's show about like, this is not all on Billy for those of you who think it is. There's problems all over this organization, and he can only do so much. But tonight is another and the latest example of this team coming out like that. They had 3 turnovers in the first 90 seconds against that Hawks team.
They did.
Some level of this team's preparedness to play does fall at Billy's feet. I will absolutely agree with all of y'all Billy haters out there on that.
No, there's
because it keeps happening.
But this is a game where there's fault everywhere, at all different levels, everywhere.
Talk about it, Will.
There's nobody that on tonight's game that can sit there and say, hold on, what's the artist's name?
Formerly known as?
Wasn't me.
Oh, Shaggy.
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 Wasn't me.
Hey, kids.
Do you know that artist, Katie?
Yes, and I know that song.
Whoa, hey, all right, well, we're done here, folks. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Generation Bridge.
But just quickly, your opponent gets up 100 shots.
Mm-hmm.
You only have 88. Who had more energy? Question number 1.
Atlanta.
Okay. Neither team shot well from 3. Doesn't matter. But your opponent goes to the line 12 more times than you. Who was the aggressor?
Atlanta.
Same thing last night.
You did win the rebound battle, but you gave up 14 offensive rebounds. Who had better effort?
Atlanta.
Second chance points, especially in the second half. Killer.
Atlanta had 11 steals. Who didn't take care of the basketball, was unfocused?
Bulls?
Ooh, I like that. You had 20 turnovers for your 22 opponents' points.
Yeah. By my last count, somewhere in the middle of that fourth quarter, maybe early fourth quarter, the Hawks had 49 combined points between second chance points and points off Bulls turnovers.
I mean, that's the game in a nutshell right there. And that's just unacceptable. That's just unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
Now, listen. This is where I crack myself up sometimes.
Wow. All right.
This is where Goat's going to have to show some onions with the questions tonight.
Okay. It's coming out swinging at the Goat.
I mean, you got
Or should I say he's going to have some onions with the answers?
One of the timeouts I saw, there was a shot of Billy before they went to commercial, and he looked pissed. I'm guessing he was pissed most of the night.
Sure.
Because we all just watched that. He watched that happen.
Hey, and please, this is not a disrespectful comment whatsoever.
Okay.
Because I'm going to preface this comment by I think this guy should have been playing since day one. You signed him to a 3-year deal for a reason. This guy won a championship and was a big part of that Milwaukee Bucks winning a championship. But when you go deep in the bench and bring in Javon Carter, that's all you need to know.
He's Billy's break glass in case of emergency player who he doesn't like to play.
At all. He played 4 minutes.
Javon, get out there, hit a 3. Nope. Okay, come back.
All right, come back. 4 minutes, man.
And I know, please, Javon, that is not disrespectful because I love the kid's game. I love how hard he continues to work in practice. I love the leadership that he shows to the younger guys, even though he's not playing. But there's just certain things that a coach does that when you see it, he's got, I mentioned the statement in the opening, he's got 1 foot on a banana peel and 1 foot in the grave.
That's what you said.
Trying to figure out, but I was referring to myself on that one.
True.
But Billy's basically now just, he's throwing what at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah. One of the things he doesn't like throwing at the wall as much, or players, force within in the comments. The thing with Modest, he makes mistakes, but he's not making any more mistakes than anyone else on the team, and he's only a rookie. Ding, ding, ding. We're not quite 15 minutes in, and I think I already have my favorite comment of the show.
Shout out to you.
Right freaking there.
Where is it?
Force within. The thing with Modest.
Just go ahead and read it again.
And the thing about Modest is, yes, he makes
There it
mistakes,
is.
but he's not making any more mistakes than anybody else on the team, and he's only a rookie. I mean, just in the turnover column alone, Vooch 3, Kobe 3, Zach 3, Giddey 3. There's 4 of your 5 starters with 3 turnovers apiece. Some of them real dumb. Dalen Terry, 2 bad turnovers off the bench tonight. Mistakes on mistakes on mistakes on mistakes.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear it when, well, the young guys, they need to learn by watching from the bench.
Yeah.
Because Modest came out there. What did he do? He ran the floor. He grabbed rebounds, and he scored with confidence and physicality.
How many blocks?
Don't tell me that kid can't get more minutes.
There it is.
Number 2.
That's dope.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Go ahead, Will.
How many blocks did he have tonight?
I know he had at least one.
He had 3.
Oh, my God. Leads the team in total blocks and could barely get on the floor. What the F? We got to take our first break. That 15 minutes flew by. We will come back and continue to get to more of y'all's thoughts about this embarrassment of a loss. And we'll still hear from Will Gottlieb later on after that, too.
You're mad, but they lost. Aren't you happy?
I am so conflicted emotionally right now, Will, because, yes, I am enthralled that for the first time in a while, they are 5 under and closer to where they should be in the grand scheme of what this goal of this season is. But that was embarrassing. I'm still a Bulls fan, and they just did that on their home floor. Put a pin in that, by the way.
Oh, please.
Okay, let's take a break. Hit the like while we share these words from our ads. Share these words from our ads? Share these words from our friends and sponsors.
All right. Right on optics, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, they roll with us now.
I hope nobody in the UC have binoculars tonight.
They should have been looking in the BMO Club. Because no matter the outdoor activities you prefer or indoor, it's always important to have the best view. I promise you that. Right On Optics offers a full range of optics products, so you can see clearly now that the rain is gone. Everyone can use a good pair of binoculars. Even Katie can use a good pair of binoculars. What do you use binoculars for, Katie?
Late at night looking out her window.
Okay.
People watching from my apartment.
I
Not into other people's windows. Let me clarify that.
No,
So
just
wait,
watch.
wait,
Just
wait
watch
a minute.
your
How can
apartment
you
is
watch
much better.
people in your apartment at night without looking at other people's? What? You're gonna sit there next to Dave and be like, "Yo, man, hey, I see you in my binoculars."
I don't know why you put me in this one.
People on the street. Well, there's people on the street.
All right.
People in the street.
People on the street. You got to see the better views. If watching the people on the street like Katie likes does, or if you prefer going to your kids' sporting events and watching that, you can do that as well. Spotting birds and other wildlife nearby when you go on vacation, or if you just in your crib chilling like Will Perdue likes to do, and then I'm in his bushes with my binoculars and watching into his house, seeing what's going on. Right On offers higher performance at a lower price. The perfect balance of performance and value. They will not, and I repeat, will not break the bank. Right On Optics has been around for over a decade. Every product receives a full quality control inspection and the Right On Promise Unlimited Lifetime Warranty. It not only covers the defects, but also the accidental damage from drops, or if you're Matt Peck, from throws. Bam!
Number 3.
That's it.
Just got that one perfectly adjusted, too.
So check out the full line of Right On products today at rightonoptics.com/CHGO. That's RITON. Optics.com/CHGO. Because Right On Optics, oh yeah, we see you.
Right on.
Right on, right on.
Postgame also brought to you by Circus Sportsbook tonight. Whether it's pro or college, the app to bet football and playoff football
Playoffs.
is Circus Sports Illinois. Circus
Jinx,
Sports.
show me a Coke.
It's sports betting the way it should be. Circus Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low hold, and exceptional customer service, parentheses, with real humans included. Bet on all of your favorite teams in every game this season. We've got, I think, the best weekend of football all year coming up.
Can't wait.
Saturday, Sunday. Final
wait.
Four. God, I love it.
Leave me alone.
Woo!
Oh.
Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season and bet who you think is going to make it to the AFC and NFC championship games. Spreads, props, futures, in-game betting. Circus Sports has it all. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. Must be 21 and older. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Niles, I disagree with you. I think it's very fortunate.
What did Niles say is unfortunate?
Said Big Dave ad reads are the best things going in Chicago sports right now, unfortunately.
Oh, my God.
I disagree. I think you're very fortunate. And thank you very much.
What is fortunate, Niles in the comments just pointed out, it won't probably make you feel better, but the Celtics lost to the Raps. Mavs lost to the Pels. Maybe we're not completely a lost cause. I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it. Oh, Sixers almost pulled off that win against the Knicks,
Almost,
too.
man.
So close.
That's the other part. I need them to start getting some of these wins,
Yeah.
too, man.
Rolling along in postgame tonight, 110-94. Bulls fall to the fake Atlanta Hawks.
He had 3 blocks.
My God.
That's crazy.
Can we talk about something positive for a second?
Well, sure. Yeah. What you got?
Stop bailing.
Bulls
It's
are
the
500.
boat's sinking.
What you got for us, Will?
I thought that, you want to talk about somebody that played well. I thought the effort that Julian Phillips showed tonight,
He was strong. He kind of faded a little bit. He started at one point. He was the Bulls' leading scorer with 6.
Yeah.
Like midway through the second quarter, he was
Yes.
their leading scorer.
But it was
with 6.
But
Yes.
my point was, it was the energy, the effort. I mean, listen, that kid is as raw as it gets.
Oh, very.
Okay. But what
ODB.
what you have seen is improvement. It's going to be slow, all right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're seeing improvement, specifically with his 3-point shot.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought he played to his strengths. He rebounded his position. And overall, he played well. But right now, he's the type of guy, as he's learning how to play, figuring out what his strengths and weaknesses are, getting in extra film time. He's the guy that's kind of, what's that magic number? If he plays below, he's plus 17. If he goes above,
Mm-hmm.
he's minus 2. It's one of those things you got to kind of live with the lumps. But my whole thing is, I would rather just have you stand up as an organization and say, okay, we're reshaping. We really need to get some minutes for these younger guys to see what they can do because of the Billy quote about we need to find out who can help this organization win and move us forward.
That part.
But it seems like we've heard this comment for how many years now, and we're like a rudderless ship going around in a circle.
But I think the point that makes most Bulls fans frustrated about this season specifically, because I don't disagree, this is the Bulls carousel. Same crap, different year. But when they opted to let DeMar go in that sign and trade, and even before that, trade Caruso, arguably like one of their best players, it seemed like they were pivoting towards doing exactly what you just said. Let's take a closer look at some of these young players that we have accumulated on this roster who haven't gotten a whole lot of tick yet and much opportunity of any yet, and see what we have. And hey, if in doing so, we keep our top 10 protected pick, 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah.
That is 2 good things that you should be prioritizing this season, but you're not. And why are they not? Well, largely, the front office has failed to find trades for a couple of people still hanging around who on most nights when the Bulls win are largely responsible for said wins and not the young players you should be playing and evaluating. To answer the question that Billy Donovan himself is saying that they need to find the answer to. But latest reports from all over, locally and nationally, all quiet on the Bulls trade market front as we near 3 weeks away from the trade deadline. Vooch, nah, no takers. Zach, untradeable. So let's just keep doing this. That sounds like a great plan.
Yeah, but they were trades today.
Yeah.
Phoenix and Charlotte, I believe. Yeah, it's crazy. It's really weird. Hey, we need to find the guys on the team who can help us go into the future and be better. But hey, I'm not going to play those guys either. But also, hey, I'm not going to make these trades so these guys can get out there and get on the floor so we can see what we got in the future. Everybody's fighting everybody and punching each other in the face. Everybody's walking away with black eyes. You know what I mean? And it's just ridiculous after a while. And notice that I'm doing this because, as you said, it's a circle. It's that carousel. Keeps going round and round and round, doing the same silly stuff over and over and over and over and over again.
So who is that? Was that?
It gets old, man. I'm just saying, Will, it gets really, really old.
I know, but
really tiring to know that your coach has a disconnect with your front office. Your players have a disconnect with it as well, and nobody is on the same page on anything. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to go out there to win. No one knows how to win. Everybody says, hey, we'll do it this way because this is the way that I know how to win. Who knows how to win on this Bulls team when you're looking at these players? They don't know it. Your best player is used to losing. Your second best player in Vooch is also used to losing because he came from Orlando.
Thinks he's a pirate.
You know what I mean? Like, this is what they know. Like, nobody knows how to actually win. Billy has an idea. He's done it for sure. But with the roster that you have, it's not going to happen. And also, he's not going to find out which young guy can help him improve it because Billy don't really play it like that. The front office comes from a winning situation out from Denver. So they've seen winning. They know how to do it out there. But it's not going to work the same way because falling into one of the greatest players that's ever played the game doesn't happen all the time, even though we kind of know about it over here. But, man, dude, it's everybody is punching each other in the face, Will. That's just really how it feels like and what it seems like to me. And when you keep doing that, that means you're just going to keep laying on the floor and doing the same thing over and over again. Like you said, the definition of insanity. Keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. It's not how it works.
I'm a little scared for Friday's game.
Boy, Friday, boy.
Buzz City coming to town.
More like
man. Buzzsaw.
Buzzsaw.
Are we going to finally have the Ball brothers on the
Lonzo?
floor?
I think so.
Come on. Yeah, it has to happen.
I thought it's funny, like their brother who's not playing professionally anymore.
He should be the
is,
halftime
like,
act for
the
Friday.
one trending right now.
Yes, correct.
I haven't even listened to that song yet. Have you listened to it?
I have.
Yeah?
No.
They made
It's popular.
I
but
recently found out that Lonzo is the one that wrote the lyrics, though.
no. Yeah, it sounds like it. Well,
I can believe that.
I mean, doesn't that make Lonzo like the whole talent behind the
Sure,
song?
it's
Anyway.
like the same thing that happens with the Baldwin brothers or the Affleck brothers, or
Yeah.
there's the talented one, and then the ones who come along and take some credit and some scraps.
Here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
Feed up, Steven. You're the weakest. Oh, look.
Perdue, what'd you have?
The Bull. Well, yeah. Did you have another?
No, when you said round and round, I was like, is that a Rat song? Who sang that song?
Round and Round?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know a couple of people who made songs called Round and Round. I don't think you've ever heard of them. But
No, but there was, I think it was like a metal group, Rat, who's like,
Oh, that's
round
metal,
and
yeah.
round.
Matt? He said metal. That's
Oh,
the
I
metal
know what
guy.
you're talking about. Oh, yeah, it's lost in the crevices of my brain somewhere.
It's lost in the rage.
Yeah, it's lost in the rage.
Well, I'm just
Speaking
glad
of
you
which,
said brain. When you went to crevice, I was like, uh-oh.
It's okay. There's no Mando ad reads on the schedule tonight, Will. But okay. Mig saying the players have
You
checked
did
out
shower
on
today,
Billy.
didn't
If coaches like Quinn Snyder or Kenny Atkinson are coaching this team, they'd be above 500. I don't necessarily think that's true. The second part, there could be some truth to what you claim in the first part of your comment. Maybe the Bulls players have checked out on Billy. I don't know. It's hard to come up with explanations for how they could have played like that.
Yeah.
Especially coming out of the gate in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Don't give me a second night of a back-to-back. They're in the middle of a home stretch. 5-game home stretch. The Hawks played last night, too, and are traveling.
Yeah.
Clearly, again, I said it earlier, I'll say it again for any of you who think all I do is, stand for Billy up here. Some of that is absolutely on Billy. Maybe his players are tuning him out. I don't know. He's had the job for 5 years, but there's been a lot of turnover in those 5 years as far as the roster is concerned. And then there stopped being a whole lot of turnover.
Yeah.
Here's what I will say, because, Will, you had me read that quote that Billy was saying about integrity and our identity and all that crap. AK said the same things in his media day appearance. Said that when he was asked, is keeping that pick a priority? He said no. He said the priorities are, we need to figure out who we are as a team, our style of play, our identity, and play with integrity and competitive spirit, blah, 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 blah. And then on that comment, he then followed it saying, the other priority for me is I want us to be a team that protects home court this season. Out of left field, AK's like, that's the priority this season. Identity, integrity, and protect home court.
Come on, man.
What is this team's identity?
Let's go.
Occasional dubs led by vets who don't want to be here anymore, and young guys who either aren't good or we don't know yet if they're good or not, because you can't play them.
Slap.
Because Billy refuses to play them.
Boom.
Integrity, you just did that. Home court, let's see, where are we after that one?
9-12, I believe.
The
8-12.
The Bulls are 10-9 on the road this season. At home, 8-14.
Ooh, 2 I forgot.
Well, yeah.
8-14.
This homestand, Dave.
Yeah.
You got home L's to the Pels.
To the Pels.
To the Hawks.
That rhyme, by the way.
And who knows, maybe Charlotte on Friday. But
L's to the Pels.
Home L's to the
AK
Pels.
has failed at what he said were his stated goals on media day. And there were some pretty soft, wishy-washy, squiggly goals to begin with. Totally misguided goals, and he's still failing at his stated goals. Congratulations. Let's give him another extension. Why not? That's what we do around here, right? Reward executives for failing at the job. Woo! Let's take a second ad break. Jesus Christ, I'm about to burst.
Can we say that?
Round and around.
It is rat, by the way.
It is rat.
Yeah.
All right. 2 T's. We're taking a break.
You want me to sing some of the lyrics?
No, I don't, but I do want you to hear this ad I'm about to read right now because you like saving money.
Oh, yes, I do. You know my 3 favorite words, right?
What's up?
Free, half price.
Yo, man. I love Will Perdue. I love Will Perdue, man. So guess what? You can save that money too, just like Will Perdue is going to save that money, y'all. Get ready for the season ahead with the quality shades that are built to last because our friends at Shady Rays have got you covered with those premium polarized shades that will not, I repeat, they will not break the bank. Shady Rays, an independent sunglasses company, offering that world-class product that's rated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars by 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames. Their shades have crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for your outdoor, and as this gentleman will always prove, your indoor advenciones. Just the house. They got hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find a perfect pair to match your style. But hey, let's say you going on away and you toss that hat that away. Oh, his glasses on there. Snap, crackle, and pop. They just dropped.
Bucket's about half empty.
You upset. But guess what? Then you remember, even though you broke those glasses, those are Shady Rays glasses. So you can return them worry-free within 30 days. And guess what you're going to get back on your face? Oh, a new pair. Explosion. That's how it goes. They have no risk when you shop.
Oh,
and their
here we
team
go.
Always has your back with personal and fast support. So, exclusively for the listeners out there, Shady Rays is giving away their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com. Use the code CHGO for 35% off those premium polarized shades. And try it for yourself. The shades that are rated 5 stars, about 300,000 people. Because it's Shady Rays, y'all. Where the Rays are so shady.
Today's
throwing that to you, Will.
Post-game show.
I can't help it. Weekend
Also,
30s, man.
Brought to you by Empire Today. There may not be a goon of the night. That doesn't mean we can't give love to our friends at Empire. With Empire Today, you get shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a low price guarantee. Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring, so of course they have wannabe competitors and copycats, but Empire cannot be beaten by them on quality, service, or speed. So all competitors advertise is low quality products that Empire simply doesn't even bother to carry. Empire won't promise lowest prices because anyone who does that is putting flooring in your home that's junk that they wouldn't put in their home. And that's the truth. Also, be sure to check out their virtual floor designer, a great way to see how new flooring options would look in any space in your home. Dining room, living room, bedroom, bathroom. Just snap a pic and instantly see how different options would look with your decor, with your wall colors, all that jazz. They also service their own warranties. If any issues do arise, just call Empire. They'll service it themselves. No tracking down third-party or manufacturer's phone numbers. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 discount when they use promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. See EmpireToday.com/CHGO for details. 588-2300. Dave!
Empire.
Today, the reverb. I like it.
Gotta get the people.
I heard a jingle, Katie.
Slap him in the face, Katie. That's where he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Coming to us on that Go Talk hotline, it's the one and only Will, the GOAT, Gottlieb. Look at the quaff. Follow him for his Bulls reporting. Will_Gottlieb. Read his stuff. allchgo.com. Goat. Woof. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that was not a good game, guys. That was not a good game at all.
The statement of the night.
They are.
Onions,
Billy
come
was
on.
kind of hot after the game. Billy was expressing some frustration in a way that I haven't really seen. I mean, he did it very level-headedly in Billy's normal way. Like, he never loses control of his emotions by any stretch, but he was really frustrated, disappointed with the performance. And I think it was a lot of the simple things, right? It was getting back cut, missing box outs, not, putting pressure on the rim in transition. They just didn't really play at all to their identity. And I know we've talked a lot about what that identity is. And just the margins with this team being as slim as they are, they can't afford to get up 27 threes in a night and only make, 6? That's just not who they are. They need to be putting more pressure on the rim to create more of those shots, whether it's layups, getting fouled, or springing out to shooters. Defensively, they need to be more connected, and they have limitations there too. We've broken that down plenty, but I think this was one of the worst defensive performances that we've seen from them this year. Just, I think they were a little bit kind of bamboozled by the Hawks, who basically had a G League roster out there. I mean, Keaton Wallace had 27, Daquan Plowden, who is, who's incredible shooting the ball, but those are guys that you don't need to let light you up. And I think they were not prepared for the pace of them getting into actions, moving the ball side to side, driving, making shots. I mean, they kind of got a taste of their own medicine, I think, in some ways, just with the pace that the Hawks were playing. And I think it totally threw them off. I think they were tired. I asked Billy and Vooch about this after the game. Is the pace wearing these guys down? Are they not physically able to handle? Because Billy's talked a lot about just the physical toll and commitment that is required to play this pace and this tempo. And both Billy and Vooch said no, I don't think that's the problem here. But to me, they seem a little worn down, whether it's physical or mental. They didn't seem totally there. And so I mentioned Billy being frustrated after the game. We then spoke to Kobe, who said basically Vooch came in there and was saying basically everything that needed to be said, just in terms of guys not taking care of the little things. It wasn't like they didn't execute the adjustments. It wasn't not understanding the game plan. It was the effort wasn't there. The defensive intensity wasn't there. The rebounding. I mean, they've gotten killed in the glass, and they've been, Billy said, a top 6 rebounding team all season, and they're getting a ton of putbacks. The Hawks are, for easy layups on missed layups and threes. So just a poor execution game from them. This was the most frustrated I have seen this group all year with just the way they played. And that includes, I think, a game earlier on in the season when, Kobe basically said it was unacceptable to give up 140 in back-to-back games. This was much worse, I think, from their standpoint. But I would say the upshot here is that Kobe was talking about how connected they still feel and how much they love playing and playing together. And they feel confident that they'll be able to kind of pull themselves out of this because of how much they care about getting this right and figuring out a way to play winning basketball. So kind of a chaotic post game, but I do feel like the players in there, and that's one thing I've always said, it's just they do really have a great group of guys in that locker room. And I think they're all pull in the same direction. It's just a matter of can they execute it with the limitations that they have?
Well, I'm gonna get this question out the way because I know Will Perdue wanted to speak to you for sure. But the Bulls' home record at 8-14, it's just something that we haven't been able to put our finger on as to why they are really struggling at home when they are making a true effort. And I'm talking about from the guys upstairs down to the floor. They're making a true effort to try to, get these wins at home. I'm obviously you don't know the complete reason, but I'm trying to pick your brain as to see, is there anything that you can put your finger on to say why these guys are coming out a little flat when they're playing at home? Because this is the worst game I've seen them play all season long against a team that they definitely should have beaten.
I don't know what the answer is to that. I do know, I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month and a half ago now. Billy switched shoot-arounds from the Advocate Center to the United Center to try to get some extra shots up in the building same day. I think that just like the style they're playing, there's a lot of variance with that. I think when they're on, they're on. And to me, it just feels like kind of a coincidence. But I mean, you could make that same case, Dave, about just the team in general. I mean, this is a team that Billy reiterated at postgame. They're trying to win. This is not about like the draft pick. This is not about anything other than like winning the game in front of them. And on the whole, I mean, what are they now? 5 games under 500? So these were games that were winnable. I think the frustration from the team is that this has now been a trend for the last 3 games, Sacramento, New Orleans, and a depleted Atlanta team. But I think that's just the problem you run into when the roster is constructed the way it is, right? Like you're under talented, and that's not to take away from the talent on this roster. Like obviously there are some guys that can really play, but defensively there are limitations there. The style that they're playing is conducive to a lot of variance. And when you're not playing your game and you're also like kind of getting out rebounded or outworked and getting back cut and not taking care of the small things, like they've been able, I think, to be successful at times because they shoot the ball well. They put a lot of pressure on the rim, and that makes it life tough for defenses. And then on top of that, they're making their shots. But when they're not doing all the extra stuff and then also not hitting their shots, that's where it's just like there's no chance to win that game. And so I don't know, to circle back to like the home versus away thing, I don't know that there's really a reason. I mean, we could look at the home and away splits in terms of 3-point stats and all that stuff. I'm not sure what the answer is, but I think it's a bigger problem of just like the team as currently constructed is not in a position to play at a high level consistently. And that's why they have to play this certain style. And that's contributes to the high variance that they run into, where there's nights where they can't miss, and then there's nights where they can't make.
So I'll compliment you first on the coif. Looks good tonight. Nicely done.
Thank you, Mr. Perdue.
I love the 2 shirt layer look. Outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
But my question is, why do we keep asking these same questions year after year after year about a team meeting about lack of effort and stick together? And everything you talk about is, to me, is about effort and focus. And as Mr. Peck pointed out, as he was throwing one of his many hats tonight, you could see that hat thing. Oh, there goes another one. Getting kind of low.
Oh, yeah, down to the Chicago Fire hat. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, all right. There we go.
Nice,
But
nice.
I'm curious because you're in the locker room. I understand, you feel the anger. The players say the right things. But is this team void of leadership, of somebody that's actually going to step up and get in somebody's face and put a finger in somebody's chest and say, this is – you can talk about, this is unacceptable, but, I mean, to the point where they actually feel threatened that we better change or else.
I mean, I think Vooch did that today. That was kind of what happened in the locker room post game. And I saw a comment about how it was like a players only meeting. That was not the case. It was just like Billy came in and talked, and Vooch, I think, kind of took it away. Kobe said like Billy didn't say anything that Vooch didn't already say, basically. Like he kind of hit all the major points. And I don't think this is like, Will, you asked me a similar version of this question, and it's like, I don't think that it's like a leadership thing. Like they've got really good like leaders in that locker. I think Billy's a fantastic coach. I think Vooch is a good leader. He's more or less vocal from time to time, but like, I think he knows when to step up. Kobe, I thought just in his post-game commentary showed great leadership. So I don't think it's like, that they're not holding each other accountable or that they are not like talented. I think that's just what you're seeing is kind of what you get. I mean, this is a 5 games below 500 caliber team, and that's where they happen to be. And I think it's more about like the general direction of, are they going to lean into that and try to, maximize the value of their own draft pick? Or are they going to go after another, annual trip to Miami in the play-in game? And I don't know what the answer to that is. I mean, the season is going differently than I think any of us anticipated. But I do think that at a certain point, like this is just kind of what it is until somebody else does something. And maybe that is kind of what you're talking about, just in terms of like who's going to step up and, prove that they are a better team than their record shows. And I think you've seen that from time to time, right? Like they've gotten up and played against teams like Boston and Milwaukee. But as Zach LaVine loves to say, they've shown they can beat anybody and they've shown they can lose to anybody too. And when that's the case, right? I mean, that's how you end up in a situation where you are 5 games below 500. And I'm sure they will win their next 2 and get back to 3 because that's where they always live. But again, this is like a bigger question of long term, what is the plan and the trajectory here? And the longer you stay on this path, I mean, that they call it the treadmill of mediocrity for a reason, right? Like you're running in place. And I think at a certain point, you need to make some decisions because what we're seeing here just isn't working as well as they would hope. And again, that's not a knock on the players. Like I have been incredibly impressed with the way Zach and Vooch have carried themselves this year. They've been playing like all-stars. I think both of them should be all-stars. Like this is not for a lack of talent, and it's not for lack of good coaching. I've sang Billy's praises plenty of times on this show. I just think that like they're in need of kind of a bigger sweeping change in the roster because what we've seen right now is just proven not to work.
Well, and as you talk about needing changes and this team just being a giant universe of same and it being a blah flavor of same, one of the things that is different about this season is the presence of Modest Buzelis.
All right.
This rookie who we saw playing really solid minutes out there again tonight, adding to his tally of his team leading number of blocks. Curious if Modest came up in any of Billy's comments, because he's talked about what he needs to do to get more minutes throughout the season. And again, even within the last week or two, to my recollection. Well, I mean, I thought he played great. Bulls fans everywhere want to know why isn't he playing more?
Yeah, I thought he played well too. I just think it's kind of the same thing we've been talking about, right? Like they are trying to win games. Modest has some flashes, but for the most part, he's not equipped right now from a scheme defensive standpoint. And I know he can get some block shots and I know he can make some threes and make some dunks. I thought he played great tonight. I think he earned more minutes. And I think I'm with you, like in general, I think I want to see more of him, but they're just not in a position right now to throw him out there because of what can happen when they do. And again, this is a larger strategic question of what is the plan here. Actually, I think I would like to see more of Modest in general, but I do think that the approach has been good. You don't want to run into a situation where you're the Wizards and you just say, run out there and figure it out. And I think him playing alongside Vooch and Zach and Lonzo, which is what he did last game, having him play in minutes that are like a little bit more competitive. I don't know. I think that's probably good for him developmentally long term. But at the same point, you do want to start to extend his minutes, especially as the season goes, I think the way that we're expecting it to. And I expect that to be the case. So he's having to be patient. I think everybody else is going to have to be a little bit patient too. He's obviously talented and exciting and fun, but I also think that like just the way that they're handling it right now for what they are trying to do, which is win games, I think that Billy is handling it the right way.
Perdue? No? Good. All right. Oh, one more question. Were you able to see our guy Kalen at the game tonight?
I forgot that you sent me that, and I didn't. But I did see my guy Drew Stevens, who's sitting here listening.
Shout out.
You guys want to see him?
Drew!
What up, Drew?
What's up, buddy?
Hey. What's happening, sir? That man
Keep
does
rocking.
incredible work, ladies and gentlemen. Incredible work.
Incredible work. He's going to come on our show sometime soon. We just
Please get him back to studio. Been too long.
He's got some
Goat,
tips.
we appreciate the time. We appreciate you sitting through that ghastly display up close and personal. Couldn't have been easy. Bulls Nation, make sure you follow him for his reporting. Will_Gottlieb, read his stuff, allchgo.com. Become a diehard to read all of it and the very best of it, because duh. Go. We're on the home stretch of this homestand, buddy. One more, and then we get you back. Let's go, baby. All right. Have a good night. Get home safe.
All right, guys.
Peace.
Oh, man. Woo!
Woo!
That's right. For a second, I was like, no, we're more than halfway through this homestand. And then I just realized what he said. We're halfway through this season.
This season.
41 games in.
Huh?
And as Perdue, you pointed out earlier, they were 19 and 22 each of the past 2 seasons at the midway point. 18 and 23. So, technically, they are going in a direction from the past 2 years of mediocrity.
Yes.
Might be at a snail's pace of only one win-loss difference in a 41-game sample size, but it's not exactly the same. There's a W we can all enjoy tonight.
Yay!
I'm going to go home and drink some bleach.
It's the same but different.
Don't do that. I do disagree with Will on one part, and I don't know if this is his philosophy or if it's Billy's philosophy about playing modest and, because we're trying to win and we want to get guys out there. From what I'm seeing, modest is giving you chances to win more so than the other guys I've seen get out there. And I'm talking about this guy's off the bench.
Yeah.
Dalen Terry hasn't been great at all. Like you pointed out immediately, the double destruction.
That sequence he had where he tried to make that full court pass.
Yeah, man.
Blew up in his face.
Blew up.
And then on the ensuing possession after the turnover, fouled a 3-point shooter.
That's it. That's
dumb.
the worst. That's the worst. Like, you can do a little bit better than that. You ought to say at least I'm watching Modest play a little bit better than that. So, in my opinion, I think he deserves to be out there. And even if you're worried about defensive scheme, you have to put out guys who are leading your team in categories, should be playing on the floor. And if he's leading your team in blocks, put him out there on the floor. Like, I feel like he might get cooked defensively out there. That's a risk I'm willing to take for a dude who actually showing you, like, on some kind of level, I can have an impact on a certain side of the floor. So doesn't matter if he, of course he's going to forget defensive schemes. He's a rookie.
Right.
Of course he's going to get cooked by some stars. He's a rookie. Those things are going to happen. But we watched him body up on a few players tonight and stop them from scoring and deterred them from getting to the basket. His help defense has always been really good. So just in my opinion, when you're leading a category on your team, you don't want to leave that on the bench. You're leading in rebounds, you play. You're leading in assists, you play. Leading in points, you play. Leading in steals, you play. So just because his age isn't there yet and Billy might not have a comfort with young guys and stuff, I think he's doing a disservice to the winning that this team says they are trying to do by not having Modest at least out there to play a little bit more.
And just to get this in real quick, and then you can chime in, Will, to play devil's advocate, as I mostly agree, and I've said something similar to what you just said on the show before, like on nights when Modest looks like he's actually doing good things on the floor, then your excuse of not playing him because, well, he's a rookie, he's not ready yet, goes out the window. He was a minus 18 tonight.
Sure.
In 17 minutes off the bench. But I also think that I agree with the other part of the point you just made, which is that that's not what it's necessarily always about.
No.
If he's doing something well, if he is doing a particular thing well, help defense, protecting the rim, Bulls need rim protection badly, then why not? And why not let him go out there? And as somebody pointed out early tonight in the comments, like, rooks make mistakes. They're allowed to make mistakes.
Yeah.
The Bulls turned the ball over, 22 times tonight?
Yeah.
And 4 of your starting 5, all vets, contributed 15 of them.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
There's rookies making mistakes, and then there's vets making mistakes. Yeah. Vooch, Goat was just saying in the postgame locker room, like, Vooch said, we got to keep, we got to stop doing this dumb stuff. Well, Vooch, you were doing some dumb stuff tonight, too.
Yeah, dude, I was thinking the same thing.
Like,
I was thinking the same exact thing.
And also, again, what is the point of this season? Well, if it's to maybe somewhat secretively and not publicly, but yes, we sure would like to keep that top 10 pick. Play Modest more minutes for the experience.
Yeah.
And maybe he doesn't lead you to a bunch of 30-point victories.
Yeah. Well, like, when you're watching somebody on the floor, like a rookie on the floor, like, you can tell when they are comfortable doing something out there on the floor. And it feels like sometimes Modest hasn't been able to find that comfort because of the time.
His eyes look like scrambled eggs.
Yo, his
I love that one.
Look like scrambled eggs. God, I got to start writing these down, man. But even
I don't mean that in a bad way.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot coming at him. Yeah,
because unfortunately now these teams don't practice. He's got to learn on the job.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you can watch film, but now the problem is when you watch a lot of film, which I think the coaches are getting together and sitting down with them and doing that, but then you start thinking the game instead of playing the game. Because now you're stepping on the floor and be like, all right, remember the coach showed me the one play, I got to do A instead of B, and then there was this other play, and then what happens when you think? You're a step slow. And so whether it's you're late on a cut, late on a screen, you don't play a defensive set the proper way, because it's almost like, when you learn how to dance, they put those footsteps on the floor, right?
Yes.
He's looking down when he should be looking up. But then there's stretches where you see he's just playing and reacting. And then you're like, okay, there's some natural art to him as far as what he knows at, what is he, 19?
About that, yeah.
I mean, he didn't go to college.
Did not.
He went to G League. And let's be honest here. It wasn't like he was blowing people's socks off in the G League. He didn't average 30.
No.
People weren't like that guy. But
he turned 20 in October, for the record.
Oh,
okay.
Shout out. Congratulations.
But I've always loved how this guy handles himself when he talks to the media about accountability and how he knows he needs to do better. And, it's that part is enjoyable. Like, even you guys, when we're watching the games and all of a sudden I can tell what's about to happen because either one of the two of you will sit up, will be like, Modest is at scores table.
Yeah.
He's coming in. Oh, my God, my night's been made.
The moments in Bulls games this season when I am closest to the true version of myself as a Bulls fan who is diehard and who cares is when Modest does good things on the floor.
Yeah.
And Dave can attest to that, and Perdue, I'm sure you've seen it too. And every time Modest made a strong play tonight, I behaved like the way I would want to behave all the time as a Bulls fan watching a Bulls game, which is being emotionally invested in a player that I believe in doing good things.
We about that Modest.
And they're so freaking short and far, like few and far between. It's really frustrating.
But for most rookies, what's the only consistent thing about their game?
Is that it's inconsistent?
Bingo. There you go, big fella.
I love when I get Uncle Will quiz questions right.
Shadow coming at you.
But I just think that it's because they step on the floor and they're those that have pride and want to play well, not only for themselves but their teammate in the organization. More times than not, they try too hard. And they're going 100 miles an hour when they only need to go 90. Because, like in Modest's case, he's a pretty smart guy, knows that I got about 2 minutes and 30 seconds
exactly
to make a positive impact or I might come out.
And he shouldn't. That shouldn't be on his mind.
So that's what I mean about, his eyes are like scrambled eggs. I mean, he's like a cat stuck in a four-way stop.
Come on.
About what do I do? Where do I go? Okay, I caught it. I'm going to rip it through. I'm going to go through 4 guys, and I'm going to dunk it. Oh, crap, turnover. Or I'm going to fit this pass through this little window, and it's going to be outstanding. Turnover. And then he's just like, I can't look at the scores table. I'm not going to look. I know we're making fun of it, but I remember, I think I played 183 total minutes my rookie year, but even the next year and the next year, when you're just trying so hard to prove that you belong and you want to stay on the floor, even if you haven't made a mistake, when you hear the horn that somebody's coming in, you're like, it's almost like you're at the dance and you're waiting for a girl to touch you on the shoulder. Oh, man.
But see, and again, to hammer this, rookies who have that mentality of like, I'm going to try and do 10 things perfectly, awesomely, and amazingly all at once. Oh, crap, I screwed all of them up. That's the mentality of a lot of rookies when they come into a league and they try and prove themselves. They want to prove themselves. Modest certainly seems to be, as far as a mindset, someone who wants to go out there and prove himself right away in this league. And you got to love that about him. It's okay for rookies to try to do and have everything, and in doing so, screw lots of them up. What I, as a fan, think is way less okay is for their bosses whether it be their coaches or, in my opinion, in the Bulls case specifically, executives in charge of building and running the team to do the same thing. As our own Will the Goat wrote about a few weeks ago now, AK and the Bulls tried to have it all in 2024 with the decisions they made, and in doing so might end up with nothing in 2025. To me, that is way more worthy of scorn, criticism, scrutiny, magnifying glass criticism than a rookie trying to do too much and having a bad night.
Yeah.
One is way worse than the other.
And the other thing that truly bothers me about that statement of, well, we're trying to win and we don't want him to come in because there's a real focus on winning. You're 18 and 20, what? 5? 23. You're 18 and 23. Like, where's the emphasis on this winning? You're stuck at a 10 seed right now and just getting lower and lower. Where is this emphasis on winning? That it has been. It hasn't been a thing.
Can't call it stuck if it's exactly where you want to be, Dave.
Dude, like, it's how does playing that hurt that? You're already in pain. Like, how does that hurt that, bro? It's already broken.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me, man. I don't get that. Play him. He's doing something well for your team right now. Play him. Give him a chance. When he starts messing up, fine. Get him out. But when he's playing well like he did tonight, you saw Billy say, fine, leave him in. But again, it was against a G League roster. So I don't like that part. That it was like, well, he's playing well, but it's against a lesser opponent. No, if he's playing well against whoever, leave him in if you're trying to really win. Leave him in that game, man. Let him figure it out. And even if you decide you're not, leave him in the game and let him try to figure it out, man. Seriously.
We are just about out of time. Wow, what a frustrating evening it was. Let's shout out some super chats that I saw come in.
We're going around in circles.
Shout out to our guy, Date Mike, always in the chat saying, embrace the tank. Time for Tankathon standings. Hey, man, you know what? We're halfway through the season now.
Yeah.
I think we've done less than 5 Tankathon spins in the first half of the season.
You're right.
Now that we're entering the back 9,
it's time to do one.
I feel like we can start cranking out some more like live post-game Tankathon spins.
Okay.
I know I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah.
And Date Mike's asking for it too.
Gonna need more likes to get it.
Oh,
I promise you that.
You know it.
But it is enjoyable to see Mr. Peck torn.
Yeah. You like him in pain? Is that
kind of like half and half.
There's a reason that Natalie Bruglia music video spoke so deeply to me in my teenage years. Coach James threw us a super chat as well, saying,
oh my God.
Quick end of the stream. Question for Uncle Will. Who so far this season has been your favorite center and why? Spelled the silly way. Who's been your favorite centre?
Centre.
Play.
Who's the guy at Oklahoma City?
Chet?
Yep. No.
Isaiah Hartenstein, who they just got in free agency.
Your guy?
Yeah. Yeah, and they got him back from an early season injury. It was like, wow, they got out to that great start and still didn't have Hartenstein yet. And
just can't say Daniel Gafford. Can't do that.
No, I mean I like Gafford, but this is what I expect out of him.
So you expect 27 and 12? That's what he had tonight.
It's not like
that's what he dropped. Gafford.
It's not like I'm like sitting there going, "Holy cow, man!"
Oh yeah, like all centers are doing stuff that Wilt Chamberlain did. Shout out Daniel Gafford. Get that respect up, Will.
I get it, but did you expect any of this from Hartenstein? Did you think that this would be the free agent signing that would have such a huge impact on the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Yes. Well, no.
See?
I thought Caruso would have more of an impact than I thought Hartenstein would. Yes.
But you're just like...
But Gafford took you to the finals.
But...
Luka helped.
The Knicks let him go.
Yeah.
OKC can do no wrong these days. But this is where now you got to start thinking about, maybe we should start paying attention to what OKC's doing and emulate what they're doing.
Oh, Will, the Go Gottlieb would love to hear you say this, sir.
Love that. Speaking of Gafford and the Mavs, real quick, I just wanted to point out this comment also. Mario Ortiz, who said, it's okay to suck. It's about the big picture. First time watching live. Shout out to you guys. Been with you guys since day one. Miss Sabine and his fingerless gloves.
Hey,
the world's next to Dave, biggest Daniel Gafford fan these days because he's over there crushing for the Mavs.
Yes, he is.
We all love and miss Sabine always. Okay, before we go, we got a little treat for you. Billy,
Treat for you.
Billy's message was relayed in part by the GOAT, but we've got a little clip of Billy talking postgame being heated, courtesy of GOAT and our production staff. Let's end tonight on this.
Yeah, let's do it.
It almost felt like last year in Boston was kind of rock bottom for last year. This felt like so far rock bottom to lose to a team that's undermanned like Atlanta.
Yeah, and I think like Casey said maybe before the game, like there was enough of that tone, in my opinion, before we even got to this game. Okay, and then I think the other part of it is, the question of playing down to the level. Like, we don't have a luxury to do any of that against anybody. If we're not really good in terms of the detailed stuff of the things and how we need to play, it's very, very hard and very, very difficult for us. And I know everybody in the NBA that teams are good. There's small margins, okay? Like, we have razor-thin margins here right now. So that's the disappointing part about tonight is this was addressed before the game. And when I say before the game, just the things that we need to do and the response that we need to have.
Isn't that then kind of an indicator and even more of a signal to the bosses, to the front office, that this roster is flawed? It's not working. I mean, if you guys are, if the mission statement is to stay competitive and be a competitive team, and you're not worrying about chasing draft picks or tanking, that somebody's got to open up their eyes and say, this isn't working. There's just too. If you have such a slim margin, that has to be addressed somehow, and it can only be addressed through the roster.
Well, I think there's probably two parts to that. I think exactly what you're saying is 100% correct on the hand that right now in the season, that's what we're focused on, is winning.
Right.
Now, I mentioned to you guys before the year started there was going to be some challenges defensively and everything else. With that being said, it was not the kind of thing, well, listen, we're just going to play all these young guys and roll them out there for 30 minutes and let them make all these mistakes. So we've had the intention. The goal is to win. I'm not saying that when the year started, hey, we're going to just go win. Like, we were going to. That's been our focus,
right.
And I think to your point, yeah, we've got to be able to control the things that we can control a whole lot better than that. And I don't know, again, my total focus has been on the team, and it's been on, like, listen, we're going to keep the integrity competitively, okay? But with that being said, I know this, like, the New Orleans game and this game in particular, because they're back-to-back, I know we've played a lot better than we have this year. This hasn't been a trend, in terms of the whole year. What's been a trend is the inconsistency part. This is, it starts happening 2 or 3 times in a row. At some point, you got to sit there as a team and put your foot down and say, listen, these controllable things that we can do a better job of, we've got to do a better job. I don't know if that answered the question, but that's what my focus has been.
Well, there you have it. That was a lot of words from Billy Donovan.
It certainly was a lot.
Trying to explain why it is that we are all collectively, as fans, media, and the team itself, halfway through a marathon going nowhere. Hooray.
Hooray.
2 words.
Yeah.
Serenity now.
Man.
Insanity.
I thought for sure it was going to be dog shit. After the amount of times.
Perfect loop back.
After the amount of times that you said those words last night, I thought for sure.
Yeah.
I was telling a story.
Would have been a great
a good
bookend
story.
on this little set of back-to-back nights, back-to-back games. But fear not, because they get to play again on Friday against Buzz City.
Bus City. Bus all.
There's no way they can put up a worse effort in that game than tonight, right? There's no way.
Old takes exposed.
Hey. Deleted. But hey,
That's a Jim Carrey reference.
proof that you see something new every day. The Bulls are not 2, are not 3, are not 4 games under 500. They are 5 games under 500. And I am being 110% honest with y'all right now. I will sleep a little bit better tonight, knowing that fact. And then wake up tomorrow morning and question everything all over again. What are we doing here? Oh, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you to our super chatters of the evening. Hit the like button now if you haven't done it yet. On your way out, follow our guy Uncle Will, 4-time champ, Will_Perdue32. Big Dave is at Balby, AWL Sports. Shout out to the queen of the controls, Katie Duffy, the one and only. Didn't even ask her to sing Empire tonight.
No, and I was ready too, but you didn't ask.
Oh,
so.
yeah. Yeah, I'm sure.
That's dog shit. In other words, that's BS.
One thing I want to say before we get out of here, if you have not had enough of Chicago basketball today, number one, you're crazy. Number two, we did a CHGO Sky podcast earlier today. Go download it in your podcast feeds. And, Angel Reese will make you happy. So
Heck
go
yeah.
listen to that.
It's a different flavor. Variety is the spice of life. Listen to the CHGO Sky Pod, featuring our very own Katie Duffy.
Steven, what up, boy?
Follow the GOAT, Will_Gottlieb. Read his stuff, all CHGO.com. We are at CHGO_Bulls. I'm Bulls_Peck. Thanks for tuning in as always. Bulls are off tomorrow, but we are not. We got a live pod for y'all, 5:30 Central Time. So we will see you then. Have a great night. Have a great start to your tomorrow. See you, be good.
Giddy up.
AK, this is on you.
Love y'all. Hug your family. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.